How badly do you want it? Everybody wants to be rich until they realize that success demands sacrifice. You say you want the life. You say you want beautiful high rise. You want to drive the nice cars. You want to make $10,000 a month, $15,000, $100,000 a month. But are you willing to do the work that it takes to get there? I'm gonna say something that's unfortunate, it's unpopular, but it is true. If you want to be successful, if you want to be rich, you want to have wealth, it's gonna require sacrifice. It's gonna require discomfort. It's gonna require building unbreakable habits that are difficult, they're not fun, but they're simple, they're straightforward. And once you can realize that, then you can begin making the changes. So, hey guys, my name is Mike. I'm a former New York City bouncer. I used to sleep in the streets. I used to live in Harlem in the projects, and in New York. I moved out, went back to college, studied finance, and got 2 graduate degrees as well. Got a job at a top consulting firm. I got through all that with hard work, sacrifice, dedication, and I got to where I am today. I own my own consulting firm, I live in my dream home, and I drive my dream car. So, let's talk about just how you have to be honest and real with yourself, like I did. You know, I was very comfortable working as a bouncer. I enjoyed the work. I did it for 5 years. I worked in the biggest nightclub in New York, and I enjoyed the work. I was comfortable in it. I had a pretty comfortable life. I was making decent money. I was drinking. I had access to lots of drugs very cheaply. I had a pretty decent life. I got to play video games when I got home and drink a lot and do kind of whatever the hell I wanted. But in order for me to actually move up in life, to actually get to the next, I wasn't even at any level. Looking back on it, I mean, I wasn't doing shit with my life. I was making nothing, what, $15 an hour, got lots of overtime or whatever, right? But I also was working another full-time job, and I was also working a part-time job. I was working 3 jobs, and I thought I had it all. I thought I was doing just great. But in order to elevate myself to the next level, financially, emotionally, socially, and status-wise, I had to make the sacrifices. I had to kill my old life, my old career, and my bad habits. My crappy, shitty-ass bad habits. I had to kill them, get rid of them. I had to sacrifice them in order to go to school, go back to school, swallow my pride, go back to college in my late 20s, and to give up the drugs and the drinking in order to get the high grades that I needed to get into the good graduate school that I went to, in order to get into the consulting career that I wanted. And I had to be real with myself, the same way you have to be real with yourself, which is, how badly do you really want this? You know, if you want a relationship with a girl or a guy or whatever, and you're struggling to meet people, you have to say, how badly do you want that relationship? If you're self-conscious about the way you look, then you're gonna have to go to the gym and work out. You're gonna have to diet in order to lose the weight or to gain the muscle or whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever it is that's holding you back. You're gonna have to sacrifice comfort, and you're gonna have to suffer at the gym every day consistently for weeks, months, maybe even years, before you can actually go out and find that dream relationship. If you're struggling financially, you're gonna have to get out of your comfort zone, leave your current job, and move on to another job. You're gonna have to sacrifice your free time, coming home every day, drinking beers and watching TV, playing video games or whatever. And you have to sacrifice that time to sit down for an hour at the computer and actually apply to some jobs. Or work on your resume, improve your resume. You might have to sacrifice some money to hire maybe a resume or a professional coach or a career coach or somebody to help you take your career to the next level so you can make more money and maybe find a more fulfilling job. So you have to look around and say, honestly, are you happy with what you have? And if you're not, then what is missing? What is missing? Do you not have a good relationship with your kids if you're married? If you are married or in a relationship, is your relationship at 100% or are things really not that good? If you want something bad enough, you will do anything to change it, and you must. If you're out there suffering the way I was with drugs and alcohol, I'm talking about crying while you're fucking drinking and wishing you could stop. If you are suffering like that, you know you have to do anything it takes to stop. In my case, I had to sacrifice, in order to sacrifice my alcoholism, in order to get rid of this horrible issue that I had to sacrifice my sleeping in. I had to commit myself to the 4 a.m. gym routine. I'm up at 3:40 every fucking morning. I'm in this gym at 4 a.m. I do an hour of lifting, then I run for 10 miles, then I come up out of my gym, go up to my penthouse, and I shoot a video for you guys. That's the fucking routine that I built for myself, that I promised myself to adhere to. And I had to sacrifice sleeping in, having beautiful, soft mornings with my wife. And, it sucks to have to sacrifice those things. But the reward on the other end of it is me building the physique that I've dreamed of. Something I've always wanted as a kid. I wanted to look jacked. I wanted to be bigger. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working on it. And I'm proud of the fact that I'm working on it. More than anything, I'm so happy that I finally dropped all my vices. I dropped my vices. I dropped my bad habits. I've cleaned up my mind. I'm building the self-discipline to take my personal consulting firm to the next level. I'll take my firm to the next level. I take myself financially, career-wise, everything to the next level. It's fairly simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. Nobody's saying that it's easy, but it is simple. Sit down and focus. Ask yourself, how badly do I want it? And I'm serious. Like, how badly do you want it? Are you gonna give yourself a little notebook like this and just sit down and write? That's the first step. If you want it bad enough, start with that. Grab a notebook or sit down on your computer with a Word document, whatever, and sit there and analyze and think about it. How badly do you want it? I actually was thinking about this yesterday, and I didn't have the time to do it. But there are a couple of changes that I want to make in my life related to this. And I set aside time today. I'm going to sacrifice some time with my wife after work. I'm going to sit down and actually go through and reevaluate where I am today. What are the negatives in my life? What are the positives? And kind of try and reshuffle my priorities and kind of plan out the next, replan the next few months of my life. Now that I've had a chance to kind of act on what I'd written about over a year ago, I realized, I was talking with a friend of mine, and I realized, I do need to actually sit down and replan. And do I want to have that acceleration in my life bad enough? I do. So I'm going to sit down and do that today, and sit down and do it yourself. Do it for yourself too. It's very simple. Start with a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left side, you're gonna write down all the positive things in your life, and on the right side, you're gonna write down all the negative things in your life. You can have a list of things that you're unhappy about, and then you can start taking things in those lists and start prioritizing either the hardest thing to take care of to the easiest, or the thing that will have the most impact to the one that will have the least impact, right? So maybe you don't have a great relationship with your parents, but that's not as important as finding a girlfriend. Maybe you don't have a girlfriend and you don't have a great relationship with your parents, but you don't make enough money. And actually, you may not be able to pay your rent this month because you're making $7 an hour. Well, maybe your number one priority is going to be to go from making $7 an hour to $10 an hour. So go out there and start looking for jobs that will pay you more. And don't think I'm bullshitting with you about $7 an hour, $10 an hour. I know that with the current economy and in many states and many cities, minimum wage, like where I live, is all closer to $18 an hour. It's not the federal minimum, it's not that. It's just that you can get paid $18 an hour at freaking Walmart or McDonald's. But when I first moved down to Texas, I was making about $2 an hour. I was working as a server at a restaurant. So I know about making shit and making a lot. So, like I said, sit down, make a list, start prioritizing, start thinking through it. If you have any questions about how to make a list or how to work on any of this stuff, just leave me a comment, and I can make a video or something like that for you on that. So thank you very much, and please like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Thanks.